how's everybody doing? Welcome to this episode, which is the last episode for the season of 23. We'll be back in September, so don't cry, don't pout, don't do any of that stuff. Don't worry, we'll be back in September. I'm hanging out tonight, right, with Mr. Adam Beres.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Rick, for having me.
Cheap advertising?
Yeah. Yeah, thanks. That's a Sean Spenceley original license plate of my musical project NT1078. Sean, God rest his sweet soul, was kind enough to make that for me, and I have a few one-off Sean Spenceley original T-shirts too, I think. But yeah, he dug my musical project, and it was really cool of him to make that for me.
Yeah, it is cool.
Great dude.
Yeah.
There you go, man.
Great guy.
Thank you for bringing it, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
Here, we'll put it someplace there.
Sure.
Don't forget it. So what's happening? What are you doing? And I see you brought your acoustic guitar with you tonight.
Yeah. So I've been working on original songs. I write them in my basement. I have a small recording studio down there, and I lay down the drum tracks, then I lay down the bass tracks, then the guitar tracks, and the vocal tracks, and eventually mix it all together and either create a shit show or a song. Hoping for the latter. So I've been working on quite a few different songs, and it's been hit and miss trying to figure out what equipment works best, what works best for my laptop. Maybe this laptop's shit and I need something different. So there's a lot of trial and error that goes with it. And then once you find a system that seems to work, you can kind of turn out some okay results. So I've been working on more serious original songs, not as experimental. And the one series of songs I've gotten into is this Dark Skies series. I'm a major Rush nerd, so I wrote a 5-part kind of a song that kind of goes in different directions. The song has multiple kind of parts to it, but there's a constant underlying story to the whole thing. So what I've done is I've created kind of a short, simple videos, just of pictures with text underneath, and the text tells you what the story is, and occasionally the text will turn red, and it coincides with the lyrics of the song.
Cool.
So it's timed so that it lights up with the song as it's going along. So it takes you through this whole kind of a story that is a bit of a game of cat and mouse, kind of leaves you guessing at the end, like what the hell is going on here. So I've written the music for...
Do we have to be stoned when this is happening?
It is not
That's a good freaking question,
It's a
man.
great question, and I would, the only time I would not advise it is because the text goes by pretty quick sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to read
You wouldn't
it.
catch it.
Yeah. You'd be like, what the hell did it? And it's happened to me. Like, what the hell was that? So yeah, it's best to kind of, because sometimes the text flies by pretty quick to keep up with the song.
Now, what do you classify it as?
I would say rock, kind of alternative, kind of heavy rock.
I
in
see,
that
okay.
kind of- with a bit of a dark kind of a twist sort of to it. The song itself, you can tell there's something very wrong with this person that is the subject of the song. There's something very, very wrong, but we find the backstory of who she is, and we find the backstory of there's a main character
That is
who's
cool, man.
traveling along with her journey into certain darknesses and some things that maybe hit close to home for all of us, and maybe some things that we don't want to talk about or we don't want to admit. So Dark Skies is kind of like I'm not having a good day, and that's what it means. It's bizarre, yeah, I know.
Now, what are you doing this summer?
So this summer, my goal is to finish the story of part 5. I gotta stop screwing around and just get it done. So I finished the music. So the music for part 5, exactly, takes elements from parts 1 through 4 and ties it together. So parts 1 through 4 of the song appear in part 5. So it all kind of ties back together. And even my friend Shannon was kind enough from Alpana Skies, she laid down some vocal tracks for part 1, and she was kind enough to allow me to retake those tracks from part 1 and drop them into part 5.
Cool.
So it all lined up, and that was just a happy accident that seemed to work, and so everything sort of tied together. So it's not just that, I do have singles too, songs that are outside of the Dark Sky series, ones that are a little more lighthearted. There's one called Electric Boogaloo that's about an alien abduction, kind of Judgment Day, what would happen.
We're all hoping about that,
Yeah,
aren't we?
exactly. Yeah. If Martians were to come down and land on us, what would they think of us? But as anyone in this room as musicians, and I know you can all agree on one thing, and that is, no one will ever regret picking up a musical instrument.
Not at all.
Right? And it's a friend, it is someone that you trust. The musical instrument is someone you can lean on in any kind of time of troubles.
That's right.
You know, there's no doubt. Like my mom passed 2 years ago, almost to the day. It was May 25th when she passed. God rest her soul. She suffered with Parkinson's, and I had a line that just popped in my head. And luckily, with cell phones, you can record shit so you don't forget it.
Yeah, fast.
And fast. You know, we all know the legendary story of Keith Richards waking up in the middle of the night and being diligent enough to figure out "Start Me Up" that he heard in his head.
Yeah.
So some of us aren't quite that diligent, but at least with a cell phone, you can record stuff in lines. Like if someone were to listen to the notes on my phone, they'd think it belongs to some delusional person because all these ideas are all over the place. But I had this line that popped in my head when after she passed, and it was like this. We set a place for you at the table. We're holding hands as if we're able to mark another occasion passing by without you this year. So that kind of thing popped.
Great freaking tune, dude. I love it.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Right on,
Appreciate
dude.
that. And it was helpful. Like, it really helped. It was a horrible time, and it still is. It doesn't get easier as time passes. It just brings good memories of your loved one more to the forefront.
That's right.
And I wrote it, and I sent it to my siblings. It wasn't really meant to be anything else. It was just for them. And I sent it to them, and they're like, you should post it, because I think it might help people. So the song goes on, and it just sort of, well, I can play it for them.
Oh, what, play something for us tonight anyway. You're
Yeah.
going to play for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
couple
play a
things
song.
if
Right?
that's cool.
Adam Beres. Adam Beres, come on.
All right.
Right on, play a song for us. I'll be back in a little bit.
Awesome. So I'm going to play part 1 to Dark Skies. So this is just Dark Skies part 1. She said she don't like the way that she spins out of control. Said she don't like what's in her soul. You should trust your instincts. Stay away from her. You should run from your problems, just like her. Your dark skies, dark eyes, your dark skies, and you. Does she notice me? Does she notice me? I think that I'm the one to blame. Nothing's ever promised. Leave her behind. Daily see the sadness in your eyes. Lonely dark skies are calling me. Lonely dark skies are calling me. Lonely dark skies are calling me. And you. Your dark skies and you.
Yeah.
Yay, come on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Adam Beres, baby. Yeah.
We can edit that out if it stunk, right? Yeah, we can edit that out.
We
if it
don't edit shit here, man. You're on the wrong show, dude. We don't. Yeah, he says, can we edit that a little bit? Oh, no.
stunk. Yeah, no, if it stunk.
No, we don't edit shit out here, man.
That's all good.
It is
but-
what it is. It's
yeah.
live.
But thanks.
Right?
So it's fun to, create tunes, and I'm not, against working with other musicians. I love playing in bands. I have a group of friends of mine, but we just never get together. My good friends Jay,
It's
Matt,
hard.
and Ron. It's hard to get schedules together. We're all busy. We used to play in this band called Zipper Soda. We used to play in the Niagara area
Yep.
all the time, playing like Canadian kind of classics like 5440 and Blue Roadie and hip and fun stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
And I used to play in an original band too back in the day called Resin, and we used to play the Toronto, Hamilton circuit and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I'm at the time of my life, I'm 50, and you know, it's hard to find free time, and it's just good to get down and get it out of your system and write tunes, put something together, see, throw it at the wall, see if it sticks. You know.
And the whole thing about it is, like I say to people all the time, is that you never know what people are gonna tune into.
Yeah.
They're gonna something they just like, and then they just go with it.
Yeah.
And you could sell a couple 100,000 units before you even know it.
Yeah.
And you know, things happen quick these days.
It's really bizarre because I throw all my songs up on Reverb Nation, so it's reverbnation.com/NT1078. Shameless plug. Nice. Thanks, Rick. So I throw my stuff up there, and I got a message from someone in California who told me she listens to one of my songs because the tempo is the perfect for the speed that she jogs in the morning. And it blew my mind. I thought, that's weird shit to think that my song is being listened to in California by this woman who jogs every morning. It's just the right speed for her. Bizarre.
And how many other people are gonna say the same thing?
Yeah.
See, it I right now I think if it's a good song and it's recorded well with the money that you could put up, some people could just go overboard, right?
Oh yeah.
And you know, good quality, do the best you can do, and if it's got some potential, trust me, somebody will latch onto it.
Yeah.
And try to do something with it, because you know what, people, you know, everybody, like all the local bar bands and stuff, that's great, but you know yourself, but without original material, we're not getting no new music.
No, and that's very true. I mean, we have to keep, you know, inspiring the next generation of people to pick up instruments and to get out and play and do something and get things. I have kids at home. My daughter Sienna is 16, and my son Ethan is 20. And you know, we always have musical instruments in the house, like just to see what resonates with you. Is it the drums, ukulele, keyboard, singing, whatever
Doesn't
it is.
matter.
Yeah, pick up something, because like I said at the beginning, you'll never regret it.
That's right. Never.
Yeah, and you know, if my son's having a bad day, maybe the drums are gonna help him. You know, he can beat the shit out of his frustrations. And my wife Lisa, I mean, God love her. I mean, she puts up with all the racket that we make in the house sometimes. You know.
And you'll always have most 99.99% of musicians I've met have always been ace, cool. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You get the odd ones that are fucking a-holes, right? But most of them understand what your plight is because they're going through it or have went through it.
Yeah.
They understand the situation.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I don't know how to weld, and I'm not gonna tell you how to weld, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I would say at some other instruments, like, yes, I play bass in my recordings, but I'm not a great bass player. I just do it to fill the void.
But you can get away with it.
I can get away with it. I can
That's all.
half-ass it. Yeah, and then drums, you know, I can half-ass them and use, well, oftentimes I use software for a lot of my drum tracks because, as you guys know, like making a drum kit is not easy, nor practical for most homes. So there's some great programs out there, and it's a give and take, because sometimes you'll find something, you know the tempo of your song, you find a beat that fits with what you're looking for, but you can't communicate with it. You can't say, I need you to put a roll in here. So you have to mess with it, but sometimes it'll give you a gimme, and you're like, I never thought of that. I can change and go to halftime here. I never thought of that. So there's sort of a give and take relationship if you're patient with that sort of thing. And then once you get the drums down, at least for my process, if I know what I'm doing with the rest of the song, I have it in my head as to how I want the sound. The rest is pretty quick. Get the guitars down, bass tracks down, and vocal tracks down, and it goes together. Now, Dark Skies 5, some reason it stymied me for almost a year to get that damn song together because there's so many songs weaved together. I had to get them together that didn't sound forced. So, I mean, it's not like Rush. I mean, Rush can do it like on the flip of a switch, right?
I know. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, so...
Are you going to be doing shows this summer?
You know, that's a great question, Rick. I'd like to. I mean, I'd like to take this experiment out of my basement. I played one time in St. Catharines at an open mic that they had going because I wanted to try an experiment. So what I did was I mixed down just the drum tracks, the bass tracks, and one guitar track, then took the vocals out, brought it to the club, and they put it through their PA, and then live I played guitar and sang, and then they mixed it together. And
Sure.
I thought, I'm losing a shoe. I thought, is this gonna work? And it worked.
Yeah, it should work all
I
right.
didn't tell a soul. I didn't tell anybody. I just wanted to do it and see if it was gonna work.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And people in the club seemed to dig it, and it seemed to work. So I think if I'm gonna play some shows, I could probably get away with doing that. Maybe I can do some acoustic gigs
There
here
you
and
go.
there. I'm open. I'd like to maybe meet some like-minded musicians that maybe want to play some
So
original tunes.
tell these people, anybody that would want to book you this summer,
Yeah.
how do they get a hold of you?
For sure. I can be emailed at, I guess nt1078music@gmail.com. So that number again is nt.
God, I'm a bitch tonight.
You're a good man. nt1078music@gmail.com. Or you can reach me on the interwebs at reverbnation.com/nt1078 to keep up with anything nt1078.
Shit. Man, this guy's getting a lot of publicity out of me tonight. Holy shit.
Well, that's kind of hold the plate.
Anybody you want to say anything to tonight?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm good friends with good local musicians. I know you had the JDM band on
Yeah.
recently. Good group of guys there. You know, Randy and Bobby Rock and Shane, all those guys.
Yeah,
are
all great guys,
great
man.
dudes. Of course, you know, my bandmates in our fun band, which is Zipper Soda. You know, my friends Ron and Matt and Jason, of course, all good dudes, great musicians. But I'd be remiss to say, of course, my beautiful family, my wife Lisa, my daughter Sienna, and my son Ethan. Love you guys. And this has been really a lot of fun. I'm really, really glad that I was able to come and really appreciate.
Kimmy, what did Kimmy offer you to come on my show?
This.
Oh, just the
That's all it
pass?
took. That's all it took. Like a lid.
You're pretty cheap, man. Holy shit. Anyway,
Yep.
you know, anybody else?
That's pretty much it. You know, work friends, of course, y'all know who you are, and my siblings, of course, you know, love you guys too. You know, but you know, I'd be interested in also in meeting, like I say, in networking with musicians. I think this is a great thing that you have here because
Oh, appreciate it. Thank
musicians
you.
get together and talk, and you know,
You're
some really
networking.
cool people here tonight.
You're networking.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like every seat is taken.
Yeah.
And it becomes more of an audience participation thing.
Yeah.
Which we like because nothing is scripted here.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
can say what you want. This is just the way it is.
Well, and to find out that I'm on the
That's right.
season ender, like
Yeah, you're on the, because this is it until September. We'll be back in September.
Wow.
So the shows will get a lot more technical, a lot more work, but
Yeah.
we'll be back.
I can play that one more tune, the one that I
Yeah,
started,
yeah,
if you
Adam.
want, the one from my mom.
Adam Beres is going to play us out tonight.
All right.
So be cool. If you see Adam or you're looking to book him, get a hold of him right here at...
NT1078.
Hold it down lower. Check the number at the bottom of your
Every
screen.
screen, yeah. I should say what that is. It's the serial number to one of my guitars.
There you go.
That's what it
Get
is.
a hold of him at that. And if he feels like playing, he will. It all depends what you're going to offer him, right?
Yeah. Like one of
Anyway,
the-
good night. Adam will take us out. Go ahead, Adam.
Right on. Thanks. The song is called Occasions. We set a place for you at the table. We're holding hands as if we're a